Okay, this is my Dr. Stein cranking head bolt. I've yet to have it mounted on a headband. I'm just mounting on a metal headband. Um, Pick them up at Target, $5. But the way I made this is I found a box at Hobby Lobby. Looked like this. And this was originally the lid. You can see it still fits on there. Chop you off a piece of the bottom of it that'll fit into the lid. And it'll just barely fit in so that you don't have a lot of overlap on the bottom. And step by step, this is how I did it. I got these from the hobby store. Call them skinny sticks. They're easily cut with a pair of scissors, and they were the right depth I needed for the screw. I got the width I wanted for this, and I drew it out. I used a guide that was a piece of square dowel rod. Laid it down flat, drew out the lines, and then I got my Dremel tool. I cut it straight. Now the notches on the side here, don't worry about yet. Just cut it straight on either side, because you're going to use those skinny sticks as a guide to cut this. So just straight cut. And then don't worry about cleaning it up yet. You don't need to worry about that yet. It's not going to be perfect because you just cut it with a Dremel tool. It's not very precision for this. Put the stick where you want it to be. So say I had this is the inside. Lay it down flat. Cut it to the right length. If this was the inside, lay it down flat right there and hot glue it here and here. After you get it hot glued down, you can layer a thick layer of hot glue along the back of it so it holds in place good. Repeat on the other side. Keep in mind these notches have not been cut in yet. That's very important to remember. After you get those where you want them to be, they're nice and sturdy. You're going to actually get a razor blade, lay it down flat along the stick, and you're going to shave off the excess using a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. After you've got them nice and smooth where you want them to be on either side, you can get yourself a hacksaw or your razor blade. Personally, I like my little hacksaw. It cuts real nice. And again, same way as you shaved off right here, lay it down flat along the stick and go down to the bottom of the stick. After you make it down to the bottom of the stick, on either side, you are going to have to use a razor blade here because you can't get the hacksaw in. Straight along, snap it down, use some sandpaper and make it nice and smooth. Just sand it out nice. And you're going to do the same thing along every side. Just get it nice and sand down where you want it to be. Now while I was doing this, both halves of the semicircle popped out on me. That happens, don't freak out. Just get you the hot glue gun, hot glue it back in, holds fine. This is basically a piece of like a cereal box. I use a granola box, but same thing. Cut you out a piece. The way you're going to do that is lay your lid down on it and draw you a line on either side. After you get that line drawn out, cut it a little bit smaller than that with the pair of scissors. In fact, you know what? Just use the leftover of the box. Lay the box out and draw it. That way you don't even have to do that. But the point is, you're going to want it to where it fits down flat in here along the curve and lays down flat along your skinny sticks. Hot glue it in right here and here. After you get that hot glued in, you like the way it looks from this side, you can go ahead and lay the hot glue down on either side where it's held in there nice and thick. After you get it hot glued down, you've got your basic shape down. Again, with combination of razor blade and sandpaper, get nice and smooth where you want it to be. Get it hot glued back down, whatever you need to do. Just make it look nice after that because you're going to paint it and that's what it's going to look like. With this half, I cut out very large notches because it's going to have to fit around that whole hot glue area and no one's going to see this, so I mean you can almost cut out half of it and you'll be fine. I used a metal noise maker for the clicking. And I got my Dremel tool out and I chopped off a chunk of it to make it where it fit in the middle. To get it perfectly centered, find the center of your circle and drill a hole big enough for the uh, handle to fit through. Stick your handle through it and then just hot glue it down. Gets it nice and centered. I use a nice little thick layer of hot glue on the back there. Holds down nicely. For the dowel rod, same story. Drill you a hole, slap it on. I use some hot glue in the dowel rod handle as well so it would hold better. And that's the cranking device. When you're done, the two halves should fit together quite nicely. Notice your proportions. You don't want it to be too big around. You don't want to use a huge piece of dowel rod for this. But whenever you're done, the actual hollowness of this actually amplifies the clicking sound, makes it sound nice. For the other side of the head bolt, just cut you a piece of dowel rod. Don't leave this too long. I see so many cosplay Dark Side where he looks goofy. I mean, he's just got a chunk of bolt sticking this far out of his head. I mean, nice little small piece. Looks great. Let's see, what else is there to go over? The paint I used, I really like this color. Stolium Magnetic. See the color of the lid, find you one that looks like that. It's just dark gray. Looked amazing once I got sprayed on there because it's not solid black, it's just the right shade of that gray. This is the head bolt out of the anime. If you want the one out of the manga, use some silver. And what I'm going to do for the headband is just buy a metal headband. They're hard to find without designs on them. It's fine, just cut the design off. Use a Dremel tool, use a pair of pliers, I don't care how you do it, get the design off. And use your big industrial staple gun and staple it to it. By stapling it to it, you got a nice firm hold, should fit out nice and straight. Look great. Let's see. If you have any questions about how I made it, any questions on the design, feel free to post a response, comment, however you want to do it. I really like the way this came out, though. I like the thickness of it a lot. I like the size of the groove. I like everything there is to it. My only issue with a lot of the designs, no offense to anyone who I might offend their design by this, is they use a lot of cardboard, the tube's too large, and the actual screw's this thick. I don't really like that. It doesn't look right for me, to me. And I feel I got the proportions about right. I, however, do want to see your homemade Dr. Sign screw. Please post a video response if you have one that you made that you want to show off. I have access to a lot of tools that some of you live in dorm rooms and etc. might not have access to. I've got my hacksaw, my Dremel tool, you know, all my big staple gun. If you might not have that, I apologize if you can't make my design due to your limitation of tools. But like I said, post a video response. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Love to see me get more views than the 40 views I have currently, about all 40 of which are from friends of mine on my homemade poi and my mechanical hands. Plan on posting a lot more how-to videos here recently, including my